how did the California gold rush of the 1800s completely change what you order for dinner on a Friday night?
I mean, it's a great question, right?
It really is. Today, we are unpacking the totally fascinating linguistic and culinary adaptations of Chinese immigrants.
Yeah, and we're going to discover how their survival strategy perfectly mirrors, what you do every time you try to speak a new language.
Exactly. So, welcome to your personalized deep dive. I am Teacher Paulo.
And I am Teacher Mariana. We are so happy to be starting your morning with you.
Yeah, grab your coffee. This is your time.
For sure. Because we know the reality of being a modern Brazilian woman, right?
Yeah.
You're constantly balancing your family, your career, your daily errands, and somehow you still find the dedication to sit down and study.
It's incredible, and that is exactly why Academia BSB exists. Our mission is to bring high-quality, distance learning right to your screen using our exclusive online platform.
Yeah, so you can master English on your own terms, whenever and wherever works for you.
Exactly. And today is April 27th, 2026, and we are opening up the latest class notes for the English Conversations course, specifically Group T243.
Yes. And we have to start with a massive, heartfelt congratulations to our dedicated students, Noyan and Anna Paula.
Oh, absolutely. Huge congratulations.
You two are officially on track to reach your CEFRL B1 level.
That is like a massive milestone.
It really is. It's that crucial threshold where you cross from basic, survival translation into true flowing conversational fluency.
Right. And to keep that momentum going today, we are going to seamlessly connect your daily vocabulary to the mechanics of pronunciation.
Mm-hmm. We'll analyze that fascinating history of Chinese-American food we mentioned, review your weekend writing tasks, dive into our gamification system, and finish with a beautiful perspective from classic literature.
It is a packed journey today, so let's jump right into the foundation, which is your daily vocabulary.
Let's do it.
We have a list from the current class that feels like it was ripped straight out of a Brazilian woman's planner.
Oh, totally.
I mean, we are looking at words like empathetic, to bring, meet, tired, retired, retarded, before, after, father-in-law, mother-in-law, desert, dessert, bottle of wine.
The very important one for Friday nights.
Oh, absolutely. And then we have programming, scheduling, agenda, tomato, mango, cucumber, lettuce, guava, yogurt, update, and those equivalents, like about, around, and approximately.
What's really beautiful about this list is how functional it is.
Right.
But, functionality comes with a few landmines. When you're learning vocabulary, the biggest traps are those false friends.
Oh, yeah, those are the worst.
They look identical to Portuguese, but carry completely different, sometimes dangerous, meanings in English.
I have to admit, looking at retired and retarded, it is terrifying how one simple letter change or just one assumption about a Portuguese translation can totally ruin your day.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Why do we have these false friends, and how do we navigate them without panicking?
Well, it really comes down to how languages evolve. Like in Portuguese, aposentado is your professional status when you stop working. In English, that word is retired.
Right.
But because aposentado doesn't look anything like retired, learners desperately search for a cognate. They see retarded. Think of the Portuguese retardado, which implies a delay, and they accidentally use it.
And that is a huge mistake.
It is, because in English, retarded is a highly offensive, outdated slur for someone with a cognitive disability. It carries a really heavy stigma.
Wow, yeah.
So understanding the cultural weight of these words is just as important as knowing the dictionary translation.
That makes complete sense. The context is basically everything. I mean, it's the same with desert and dessert.
Exactly. One S gives you a dry, sandy wasteland. Two S's give you a sweet treat after dinner.
Right. So to make sure these stick, let's put them into practical, everyday sentences that you actually use this week. And let's sprinkle in a few extra related words that aren't on the list just to expand your toolkit.
I love that idea. Let's paint a picture of a typical week. I'll start.
Go for it.
She is a very empathetic friend when I am stressed. Did you remember to bring your notebook to the meeting?
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to buy fresh meat at the local butcher. Let's meet at the cafe tomorrow morning.
Nice. And when Friday finally arrives, you might say, I'm feeling very tired today. In fact, to add a new adjective, after working a double shift, I am absolutely exhausted.
Yes, exhausted is a great one to know. Moving to family and time, my grandfather is happily retired. And as we discussed, you must avoid the offensive word retarded.
Definitely.
I always drink a glass of water before work. I will call you with the details after lunch. My father-in-law loves to organize the Sunday barbecue.
Sounds delicious.
Right. And my mother-in-law makes the absolute best cakes. Oh, and to add another family member to your list, my sister-in-law is visiting us this weekend.
Perfect. Now for the weekend treats. It is far too hot to walk in the desert. I would love some chocolate cake for dessert. Let's finally open this beautiful bottle of wine. Now, looking ahead to Monday, I am studying computer programming to advance my career. We need to focus on scheduling our next class. What is on the agenda for today's meeting?
And finally, the market run for fresh produce. Please slice the tomato for the salad. This mango is perfectly ripe and sweet. I like a slice of cucumber in my ice water.
So refreshing.
We need fresh lettuce for the sandwiches. Guava juice is my absolute favorite morning drink. I have Greek yogurt for breakfast every day.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give me an update on the grocery project? And to wrap up, it'll take about approximately 10 minutes to get to the store.
Awesome. It is so much easier to remember them when you visualize the actual supermarket aisle.
It really is.
It's one thing to know the word cucumber in your head, but if you mispronounce it, you might get blank stares. Which brings us to the mechanics of pronunciation.
Exactly, because the biggest hurdle for Brazilian learners isn't intellect, it is muscle memory.
Yeah, that physical mouth movement.
All right, let's quickly look at the past class list. We had words like cultures, contributed United States, Chinese center, women, supreme, contradiction, interestingly, ethnic, melting food, own, centuries, abandoned, traditional, costumes, words, major, landscape, unconstitutional, also, and slavery.
That is a hefty list. And, I look at a word like women on that list and it drives me crazy.
I know why.
Right. The singular woman sounds like woman, but the plural women is pronounced win. The O completely changes its sound. Why is English built this illogical way?
It is so frustrating. I totally get it. It happens because English is a stress-timed language, not a syllable-timed language like Portuguese.
Okay.
In Portuguese, your vowels are pure and clearly enunciated. But in English, we are, well, phonetically lazy.
Lazy. I like that.
Yeah, unstressed vowels morph into a soft, relaxed sound called a schwa. When you unlearn the urge to pronounce every single vowel purely, that is when the mental click happens and your pronunciation transforms.
That physical mechanic is really fascinating. So let's put that into practice with our current class drill. We have pairs of words that sound nearly identical.
Yes, let's do the drill.
To keep our brains engaged, we are going to follow the exact format required, which is read the word, say a sentence containing the word, and repeat the word. I'll start group 1.
Sounds good.
Hole. The dog dug a deep hole in the garden. Hole.
Whole. I was so hungry I ate the whole pizza. Whole.
Need. I need to buy some groceries today. Need.
Need. You must knead the bread dough for 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Need.
I bought this beautiful gift for you. 4.
4. There are 4 apples on the table. 4.
Meat. We are grilling meat for dinner. Meat.
Meat. Let's meet at the park at noon. Meat.
It is wild how the tongue does the exact same thing for meat and meat.
I know, it's literally identical.
Okay, let's tackle group 2. Though it was raining, though it was still quite warm, though.
But go. The cookie dough is resting in the fridge. Dough.
Snake. We saw a green snake in the grass. Snake.
Snack. I usually have an apple for an afternoon snack.
Yeah.
Snack. And let's add the third related sound. Sneaker. I need to buy a new sneaker for running.
Sneaker.
Sit.
Please sit down and relax. Sit.
Seat. Is this seat taken? Seat.
Backed. She backed her car out of the driveway. Backed.
Baked. I baked a chocolate cake yesterday. Baked.
Desert. The camel walked across the hot desert. Desert.
Dessert. Ice cream is my favorite dessert. Dessert.
Wow. Getting those vowels right feels like unlocking a code.
It totally does.
Now, let's take those precise sounds and weave them into natural, everyday communication. We have 4 incredibly practical phrases in our language usage section today. They are to bring a gift, to have a snack, to hang out with my husband, and it's none of your business.
These are just so essential. Like, to hang out is that perfect casual phrasal verb for spending relaxed time without a specific agenda.
Right.
And it's none of your business is honestly the ultimate boundary setter.
It really is. In fact, these phrases saved me last weekend.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
Well, I was absolutely exhausted from work. All I wanted was to stay home and, hang out with my husband.
Sound perfect.
Right, but we had a family gathering. We stopped to have a snack on the way because we're starving. And I realized I completely forgot to bring a gift for the host.
Oh, no, the classic weekend panic.
Exactly. And to make it worse, once we got there, a distant relative kept asking these really intrusive questions about our finances and, like, when we were buying a new car.
Ugh, the worst.
I know, I was this close to looking him in the eye and saying, honestly, it's none of your business.
It's amazing how universal those family moments are.
Oh, for sure.
And having those phrases ready in English gives you the power to express your boundaries naturally.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to take a very quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
See you in a minute.
And we are back. Welcome back to your deep dive.
Welcome back, everyone.
You know, during the break, I was thinking about our phonetic drill with snake and snack. It reminded me of a story a student shared once.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Yeah, she was traveling in Florida, went into a convenience store, and very politely asked the clerk, "Excuse me, where can I find a delicious snake?"
The clerk must have been terrified.
He literally pointed her to the nearest swamp. It perfectly illustrates why unlearning those Portuguese vowel rules matters so much.
It really does.
So far today, we've organized your daily vocabulary, unlocked the physical mechanics behind tricky English vowels, drilled those homophones, and explored how to set boundaries at a family gathering.
And that idea of navigating new environments connects beautifully to our listening and reading comprehension segment.
Yes, it does.
Today's text is called Creating Chinese American Food. But before we read, let's talk about the listening task itself, where you fill in the blanks of an audio track.
Okay.
Why do we insist on using real-life native speed materials?
Well, it goes back to what we said about sonic engagement. When you learn English from a textbook, every word is isolated. But native speakers link consonants to vowels. They swallow sounds. Practicing with native audio forces your brain to stop translating word by word and start recognizing the rhythm of connected speech.
Precisely. Now let's analyze the reading text calmly. It opens with the metaphor of America as a melting pot.
Which is a great image.
It is. It's this concept that different cultures arrive, melt down parts of their original identity, and blend to create something entirely new.
And the text explains that Chinese American food didn't start as like a culinary experiment. It started as survival.
Yeah.
During the California Gold Rush, Chinese immigrants arrived seeking fortune or railroad work, but when the jobs dried up, they faced severe discrimination.
Exactly.
So to survive financially, they opened laundries and small restaurants.
But here's the brilliant part. They realized traditional Chinese food didn't appeal to the local American palate.
What?
So they adapted.
What?
They took the base of their cuisine and added ingredients that were cheap and abundant in America, like broccoli, carrots, onions, and significantly larger portions of meat because Americans loved meat.
Makes sense.
That adaptation birthed dishes like chop suey, which was created in America, not China.
I love this text because it is the perfect analogy for language learning.
Oh, how so?
Just like those immigrants had to use local broccoli because bok choy wasn't available, when you don't know a specific English word, you have to use the ingredients you do have in your vocabulary to describe it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great point.
Fluency isn't about having a massive, exotic vocabulary. It's about making a fantastic meal out of the simple ingredients you already possess. You don't lose your Brazilian identity, you just adapt the recipe so a new audience can taste it.
What a profound way to look at it. And speaking of expressing your identity, that bridges us directly into your personal narratives in our writing segment.
Oh yes, the weekend travel blogs.
Exactly. The objective here was to write a 140 to 180 word travel blog style narrative about your last weekend, utilizing the simple past, irregular verbs, and relative pronouns like who, which, or where.
Let's shine a spotlight on the drafts submitted by Nguyen and Ana Paula. You both did a phenomenal job grounding your stories in reality.
They really did.
I loved the modern details, like mentioning the use of the Notion app to organize your routines and leaving voice notes on Alexa.
The specifics were wonderful, describing the drive to the supermarket in Santa Maria and the weekend visit to the father-in-law. You proved that you understand the chronological flow of a narrative. But as the teacher's enhancement insights pointed out, to elevate this to a true B1 level, we have to polish the mechanics.
Yes, the feedback highlighted pronoun usage. For instance, in Portuguese, it's very common to say, me and my husband went. But in English, when you are the subject doing the action, it must be my husband and I.
That's a classic mistake, but easy to fix.
We also want to see more connectors, words like meanwhile, later, or subsequently, just to make the story glide.
And most importantly, emotional depth. Don't just list what you bought at the supermarket in Santa Maria. Tell us how the weekend made you feel.
Right.
To demonstrate this, let's propose a custom alternative weekend story for both Nguyen and Ana Paula, actively using the vocabulary we learned today.
Oh, I love this. Let's try this. Last weekend, I was busy scheduling my family agenda. Before noon, I went to the market to buy a fresh mango and yogurt.
Nice.
Later, my mother-in-law came over and we shared a beautiful dessert and a bottle of wine. It was an incredibly empathetic and relaxing weekend.
Notice how the connectors and adjectives transform it from a list of tasks into a vibrant story?
Exactly.
This level of consistent, dedicated practice is exactly why we are seeing such mind-blowing numbers in your class statistics. Which brings us to the celebration part of the day.
Yeah.
Gamification.
Oh, my favorite part. For anyone new to the Academia BSB methodology, we use a gamification system to reward your hard work. Every activity you complete, whether in class, off class, or as homework, earns you estrellinas, or stars. These points attach to your user profile on our online platform, pushing you up the rank ladder on the leaderboard.
It's healthy competition, but it's also highly rewarding. With enough points, you participate in our monthly giveaways for school products, like books, pencil cases, mugs, t-shirts, and you can even use those points to pay for courses and other products.
It is the ultimate motivation, and I have the sheer joy of announcing today's rewards. Noyane and Anna Paula, stars won today. 15.
Wow.
Massive congratulations. You earned every single one of those 15 stars.
And the data proves you earned them. Let's review your class stats. Today alone, you mastered 25 new words, pushing your comprehensive lexicon to an astounding 2,496 words.
That's amazing.
Your oral fluency engagement clocked in at 48 minutes, and your listening wavelength is at 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 15 seconds.
But Teacher Mariana, the stat that literally made my jaw drop is the phonetic deviation ratio.
Well, let's hear it.
When we compare your pronunciation errors from the past class to the current class, you achieved a minus 38% deviation.
A 38% drop in errors. That is the mental click we talked about earlier. It proves that practicing the difference between snake and snack and unlearning those pure Portuguese vowels is physically rewiring how you speak. Your clarity is skyrocketing.
It is purely inspiring. Before we head to our final thoughts, I want to touch on the bibliographic references included in your notes today.
Right, there's a really interesting link in there.
Yeah, there's a link directing you to read about Mesa Verde, or Green Table, which is a breathtaking national park in Colorado known for its ancient cliff dwellings.
It might seem unrelated at first glance, but reviewing historical materials like Mesa Verde is an incredible way to expand your descriptive vocabulary.
Definitely.
Reading about how people lived, survived, and built their homes centuries ago can deeply inspire your next English travel narrative. It teaches you how to vividly describe a landscape and the profound feeling of a place.
I cannot wait to see how that inspiration shows up in your next writing assignment.
Me neither.
And speaking of what is coming next, we have an incredible cliffhanger for your upcoming linguistic scope. In the next class, we are going to introduce a mysterious grammar structure that native speakers use constantly when telling stories.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, but it is often a complete blind spot for learners. It will entirely change how you talk about your past. You absolutely do not want to miss it.
It is going to be the key that unlocks your narrative fluency.
For sure.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a perspective from one of the greatest female authors in international English literature. In 1925, Virginia Woolf published her landmark novel, Mrs. Dalloway.
A classic.
The entire novel takes place in a single day, and it opens with the famous line, Mrs. Dalloway said she would buy the flowers herself.
It is a masterpiece, but why does a British novel from 1925 matter to a Brazilian woman learning English today?
Because Woolf's novel finds profound, breathtaking beauty in a woman's simple, everyday errands. Walking through the city, preparing for a party, noticing the people around her, she elevates the mundane to the level of high art.
Wow.
And that is exactly what you are doing in your writing tasks. Describing a trip to the supermarket in Santa Maria, organizing your Notion app, driving to see your father-in-law. These aren't just chores. These are the beautiful, vibrant micro-journeys of your life.
What a stunning way to frame it. Learning English isn't just about passing a test. It's about acquiring the tools to share the art of your everyday life with the world.
Absolutely.
And that brings us perfectly to the core philosophy of Academia BSB. Always remember.
It's not only about the language.
It's all about communication. Thank you so much for letting us be part of your morning routine. Keep collecting those stars. Keep finding the beauty in your micro journeys, and we will see you in the next deep dive.